It is my pleasure to introduce a very, very old friend of mine. Not that he's nearly as old as I am, but he is an old friend, Mr. John Moss, or John Moss to you. And he has a very varied background, one of which we'll let him talk about more than me. But I just want to show you a great book that he once wrote, and he keeps on doing. Well, I don't need to show you the inside. We can go page by page if you like, but no. This has to do with teaching loan officers like me how to become successful, and he had a lot to do with me becoming successful in that. But he is also very entrenched in the Native American world, which of course you can see on the screen. He's got his stuff up there. But we'll let John, just as a beginning here, we'll let him go ahead. Let me say goodbye to the Facebook people because they can't see or hear John. And we will let John speak for himself a little bit, just a little bit of background, please. So go ahead, John.
Sure. Well, first, I want to thank you, Jay, for allowing me to be here. Yes, you're my honored friend, and we've been through many different avenues in life for a long time. I'm glad that God's helped keep us in touch and going strong. So, or getting stronger. So I know you're working on that too. So that's
good.
good.
Yeah, it's taken a lot. Of course, you're not an old guy like me. You may be somewhat mature, but you're not an old. I won't say the word, but
right.
You're not one of them oldies.
Well, Indian way, we have 3 ages. So mental age, spiritual age, and the physical age. And we've all met people in different areas of that. They seem like an old soul or so
yeah,
forth.
But thank you so much for reminding me how young I am, because mentally I am extremely young. I mean, I ain't got no learning. I am really backwards. So that makes me feel very young. Thank you, John, once again.
You're good. So again, welcome. My name is John Thomas Moss. I am the grandson of Michael Martin, Chief Silvermoon, who was the first Native American actor in the silent film industry to get a reoccurring role in Hollywood. So, wow. Yes. He also, I don't know if they can see the card. I know for me it shows backwards. I hope for everyone else it's not.
No, but it shouldn't. Let me make sure. No, it's not here. Okay. A lot of cameras do that. Facebook always does that, but no, we're okay. Yeah, everything looks good except me. Thank you.
So the logo is actually when he posed for Chief Tablets back in the 50s, and I'm sure many of us remember that. Jay, definitely. So the Chief Tablets photo is what that is from, and in honor and respect of him, that's what we carry on with our logo. The nonprofit I founded is called Cash Community Development.org, as in money, CASH, community development. That is only an acronym. It stands for my Native American tribe, which is out of Oklahoma, Caddo, CADDO. So Caddo Assets, Services, Help, Community Development. Because growing up in Burbank, California, then later in Upland, and then back out to Orange County, or I should say out to Orange County, my focus has always been to learn, as my mom, Pauline Janelle Martin Moss, And my grandfather and elders told me, learn what positive things you can and, and try and help bring those back to our Native American indigenous people, as well as the work we've been doing with the military. So my mother helped found the Southern California Indian Center, which is located in corporate office in Fountain Valley. And it's been around now for about 50 years. They also have a division in the Inland Empire and Los Angeles County. And they also integrated with working with others as well. Then my cousin, who helped found that as well, Randy Edmonds, and he's Kiowa Caddo. He founded the San Diego Native American Indian Human Resource Center, and he is the senior member on our board. And he is also won an Emmy for his work with Oprah and on his story, The Legend of the Crow, by not Disney, but one of the other components of Disney. I can't think of it right now. And the singer, African American gentleman, John something, I believe. But anyway. Sorry
well,
about
maybe
that.
you're getting older than I thought. That's the that's the way I measure it anyway.
I don't. Yeah, so that's that part. So that's the Native American side. I'm Caddo, Welsh, and Irish. My mother was full-blooded Irish, and my father was Welsh, and he and my mom were married for many years in California, and so with that, he was a financial planner to the movie stars. And my his ex-wife, was actually married to Frank Bozzaglio, who was the first Academy Award winner for as a director. And so through the years, there's many pictures and events of my mother before that, because of my grandfather, at Hollywood activities and events, and then it carried over where my father was a financial planner to the movie stars, if you will, and including a lot of comedians like Jonathan Winter and others. So, and Jay, your love of cigars and so forth. My favorite restaurant there in Toluca Lake, California, the Smokehouse.
Yeah.
It's Chet's. It's a great restaurant.
And speaking of Disney, I think he used to go there quite a bit too, and the Tam O'Shanter.
Yes, all those. Yes, those were a lot of our nice memories.
They're both alive and well. Not Disney, but the restaurants are. I mean, Disney company is, but Walt isn't. But
correct. And Smokehouse still has the world's best garlic bread, in my opinion, for sure. But and one of your nearby favorites, I'm sure, is Travel Town. We used to spend a lot of time there.
Not to mention Bob's Big Boy over there, which has got a lot of history.
Oh yeah, all that. So with that, my life being around finance, later I ended up getting into, I'm skipping some parts because I don't want to go too long, but I got recruited from owning my own advertising production company, modeling agency, as a professional fashion photographer in Newport Beach, California. And then around that, I was helping to build and work in communities with the military and business people, alongside with my mom and minority business owners and the chamber, the Native American Indians Center, etc. So I ended up getting recruited into the mortgage industry from my background in sales and training, where I was always number one, and my teams were number one. And how that started is really, I consider myself a communication expert coach, and I use a lot of neurolinguistics and have learned a lot from many great people out there, which are noted in the back of my book. And so with that, when I would meet people, I started in the auto industry. I made a little tablet, the little memo pads in your pocket, and then I would let people know the fact I'm not really great with names and I'd like to make some notes. Is that okay? And I'd start writing everything down. And I ended up with boxes and boxes full of these pads. And what I did is I started forming acronyms and how to deal in communications, like FBBT, fact, bridge, benefit, tie down, or closing statement. And with that, there's different personality styles. So social mapping, then that's what I would utilize. And I've used this in coaching and training all over the world. So what I did is I took that information, because my goal was to be recognized as the best in the mortgage industry, real estate industry, as a trainer and coach. And nobody compares to me in that realm, and that's proven by the letter you have, Jay. I don't know if you're going to show it, but the letter of the top banking associations.
What
going
shows
through my
is,
book.
let me just say, Sean, our engineer Sean is the one that puts up the visuals, so he'll put up what he thinks will translate well, if he can.
Okay.
But
so it is a letter that the top banking association spent 6 months going through all my materials, interviewing corporations, companies that I helped grow into billions of dollars and stable. And with that, showing that I was ethical and non-predatory lending and working with communities of all levels of income. And so I'm the only trainer that's ever received in the United States ever a letter of recommendation from these top banking associations. Then I took that information and have been trying to share that with the military and Native American and people of color communities, as well as that includes white people as well, anybody, on understanding financial literacy, economic development, becoming self-sustainable with the holistic approach, so that we don't have the same challenges in health, drugs, alcohol, other addictions that tend to happen. And a good example of that is people that get into, the film industry or entertainment or win the lotto, so forth. They may not know how to manage and understand that finances is a life change. So when you go through, let's say, losing weight, right? Not extreme for medical like you did, Jay, but when you go to lose weight, you don't just go and get a certificate that you understand it. You, in a professional world, you would ask and hope for ongoing coaching, just like if you're going to work out, et cetera, or if you're going to addiction recovery. So that has been my passion. How do we get financial literacy, economic development to people with ongoing coaching? And with that, then we're able to help them grow and develop into their own self-sustainability, and then that becomes generational knowledge. And that's always been my passion, as you know, Jay. But my book, again, is 30 years of a proven method that I've trained on in the Caribbean, Philippines, India, Pakistan, and I'm, of course, and others, but I'm best known here in the United States in call centers, data centers, so forth. So now I'm working with the number one economically challenged race in the US, Native American people, who are also about 12% higher enlistment per capita into the military than any other race since the 1800s here in the US. So when they come back, they go to impoverished areas in many cases, and they don't understand all of the necessities of how to grow and develop and expand. And again, there's a lot of myths about the casino money and how it works and all of that. But that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, we've
But the
got a
reality
situation here in California where there's I guess, a ballot initiative regarding exactly that when it comes to some of the tribes and the outside industry that's trying to horn in on it, I guess.
And that is exactly the case. And one thing, just briefly, everyone should know is when a nation utilizes funds, it's under certain guidelines. And that means they're not allowed to borrow what are called from the U.S. Department of Commerce, we work with as well, SIN projects. So they cannot borrow money and build a strip bar or things of that nature. Now, casinos, I have mixed emotions about it, as well as some of the other people. But the reality is that, as well as the hotels, there's typically easement between them and so forth. Mm-hmm. But those dollars get paid back just like if you were a stockholder. The remaining profit is what is shared with the tribe, and then based on U.S. government approved regulations and the tribe that they've signed off on, then those dollars are then there to support the tribe. But they are not free gifts, just like people that go to college and get money support as a Native American person. Those are for dollars of broken treaties. So as an example, I've read and know of, and it's still being battled, the actual treaty right there in Orange County for what was El Toro Air Base. That is property of the tribes right there, and it states that if the U.S. government vacates that land, it is to revert back to the original owners, which is the tribal governments. But it didn't. What happened? A big real estate company has it. They have a big orange balloon, and they make it a pretty park, and everyone seems happy. In the interim, Native American people would sure love to benefit from the use of those lands that are traditionally theirs. And that's the case in many, many areas. So I just want people understand that those are not freebies and give me's. So, okay. I don't know if you want me to pause for a moment or bring up more about why with my ongoing, well, I'll just roll into this and then you tell me. But as an example, I'm donating my time for a seminar that, as Jay shared with people via email, it used to be $900 to sit down and go through a workshop with me, and where I go into these communication skills that are proven mastery. And with that, I'm doing a class for $49 that is donated to our nonprofit. And it's a 2-hour workshop, April 6th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. from Oklahoma time, Central Standard. And everybody's welcome. And with that, there's 30 pages of a study guide that we'll be going through, and people can go at their own pace and have review. But
Yeah,
those
John,
methods are
John,
time proven. Yeah.
you should give out all of your contact information for anybody that may want to join that. And I was also going to ask you a little bit more about the nonprofit. Can people contribute? You know, what the overall scope of that? But I would give out
Absolutely.
your information, contact information, definitely.
Okay, so for you to be able to sign up for the class and see my proven materials, which obviously I have my book, and then I have courses on DVD. So there's a full package and so forth. That website is really easy. It is just www.John, T as in Thomas, but anyway, it's just T. And then Moss, no spaces or anything between that. So John T. Moss and then .com. And then that'll take you to that website or connect it with my University for Loan Officers past URL that I utilized in mortgage arenas, but for Closmo University that I put together way back when. And in there, you can sign up for the class. And then again, it's a donation. So johntmoss.com. And then the nonprofit is a longer one. So let me spell that. It's www.cash, C-A-S-H, no spaces, then the word community, and then the word development.com. So .org. So John at cashcommunitydevelopment.org is the nonprofit. And if you go to our donate page, and I hope everybody does, even just to see the work and things we're working on, there's a lot of different programs and projects that we're working on.
It's not just to donate, but it's to learn. It's for the rest of us to learn what's going on, which is important, I think, for all of us.
Absolutely. And there's free resource tab, which has a lot of great free resources, meaning if you're a senior, if you're military, or if you are part Native American or other minority, how or where can you go to try and get some help and support? Those that are having credit challenges or want no more, or taxes, there's a lot of free links there. And then either way, you can always contact us and we can help point you to quantifiable, verified, ethical people, like I do with Jay and others for reverse mortgage, which I wrote a book on as well. But I only work with, and our team only refers people to people we know have a proven ethical.
Yeah, and remember, it's not just reverse mortgage. And thank you for mentioning that, because I do reverse mortgages, but it's for everybody, everybody in the field.
Yes, thank you. And so those are the two websites. And I'm on Facebook, johntmoss.com. And that's where I post a lot of the events and activities and powwows and everything that we attend and go to. So I don't know if you want me to pause now on that, and if you have some questions you wanted to know.
No, well, we have only a few more minutes left, actually. So I'm hoping you'll be coming back before too long. I don't know whether, and I also would like to talk to you or have you talk to people about moving out of state, what it's like doing this and that. You know, there is a Native American Film Festival going on here in Southern California, the LA area right now also. So I wanted to bring that up.
Yes.
So, yeah, and I think we only have a minute or two, so go ahead and please, don't let me step on your lines here.
No, I'll do it quickly. As a matter of fact, one of our honored people that was on our advisory board, but he's so busy, we respectfully still work together, but not as completely. He's on the staff of UC, or may still be, UC San Diego. And that's Jim Warren. He lives in San Diego. He played for pro football and Arizona in college in the Rose Bowl the year they won, and then went on from there. I mean, there's more than that.
Okay, so
okay,
John, there's only 1 minute, so finish that up. And what I think is so important, other than me thanking you so much for being here today and sharing with us, give out your contact information one more time, please.
Sure. I just want to say Jim's movie he has at that film festival is The Seventh Generation. Everyone should get it.
Okay.
And it's also on Prime. So my contact information again, johntmoss.com is the for-profit materials and thing in the $49 class that I'm donating back to the nonprofit to help with our
which I'm
financial
signing
literacy.
up for, by the way.
Thank you. And Dale did as well.
Oh, great.
And yeah, and with that, the nonprofit is CASH, CASH, Community Development.org.
Okay, that's the music like they do at the Academy Awards when they're ready to bring the hook out. So thank you again one more time. And everybody else, we'll see you back here soon. Thanks a lot.